Okay, let's dive into a place where you can practically feel history. We're talking about an Irish castle that's so much more than just a pile of old stones. This is Bunratty Castle, a fortress, a treasure chest, and a true Irish icon. We're going to explore what makes this place so special.
So, you gotta ask yourself, right? How does a castle built way back in the 15th century become this huge deal, a modern icon? I mean, what's the secret sauce? Well, the answer might just blow you away. And it all starts with just how many people can't wait to see it for themselves.
Get a load of this. We're talking over 500,000 people every single year. That is a massive number of visitors. So yeah, this is no dusty old ruin we're talking about. Bunratty is a full-blown cultural phenomenon, easily one of the most popular spots in all of Ireland. It's a living, breathing piece of history.
So let's start there. Let's dig into how Bunratty became this Irish icon. How did it go from being this serious medieval stronghold to a place that literally welcomes the entire world?
But look, to really get why it's such an icon today, we have to rewind. We've got to go way back to the beginning and figure out who built this thing, and maybe even more important, why they built it. Because let me tell you, this castle was way more than just a place to stay safe. It was a statement.
And it all boils down to one incredibly powerful family, the Butlers. Now, these guys weren't just building a house. Oh no, they were building a massive, in-your-face symbol of their power and their wealth. This castle was basically a giant stone sign that said, "We rule this whole region of Munster, and don't you forget it." And man, this castle's story is a total roller coaster. It starts out as this mighty fortress in the 1400s, right? But then, it gets abandoned. By the 1800s, it's just falling apart, a total ruin. You'd think that was the end of the story, but nope. In the 20th century, a huge restoration project brought it back from the dead, so we get to see it today looking just as magnificent as it once was.
Okay, so now let's get into the building itself. We're going to break down the anatomy of this place. Because believe me, every single brick, every single window arch, it's all got a story to tell.
The outside of this castle is like this amazing mix of styles. You've got this red brick front that's all Tudor revival, strong and kind of serious. But then you glance up at the roof, and whoa, that's pure drama. Super steep pitches, that's classic Gothic revival. It's this blend that makes it such a perfect example of how castle design changed over the centuries.
So, let's really paint a picture here. Think about that unique red brick. Then add in these fancy chimneys and turrets stretching way up. And don't forget those sharp, pointed arches in the windows. You put it all together, and you get this silhouette that's just unforgettable. Absolutely iconic. Okay, we've had a good look at the outside. Pretty impressive, right? Well, now it's time to go inside. Let's step through those gates and see what kind of treasures are hiding within those walls. This, my friends, is where things get really interesting.
Our first stop is the absolute heart of the castle, the Great Hall. And wow, this room is just incredible. A total masterpiece of medieval engineering. Just try to imagine it back in the day. Packed with people, echoing with the sounds of huge feasts, royal events, maybe even a trial or two. This was the command center.
And right off the Great Hall, we find a much quieter, more sacred spot, the chapel. Now check this out, because this is amazing. See those beautiful stained glass windows? They're not copies. They're the real deal. The originals from the 15th century. They've been pouring that colored light into this room for hundreds and hundreds of years.
The whole castle is basically a museum, too. It's just jam-packed with priceless stuff. We're talking furniture that the Butler family actually sat on, incredible tapestries that tell these epic stories, and of course, a whole room full of medieval armor and swords. I mean, every single object is like a direct line back in time.
So you see, it's so much more than a museum. Bunratty is a living, breathing legacy. And that's what we're going to look at now, how this 600-year-old fortress is still making waves, still shaping culture today. Its story is far from over.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Its importance is recognized all over the world. Back in 1997, it was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's a huge deal. It puts Bunratty in the same league as some of the most important cultural sites on the planet. It means this isn't just Ireland's treasure, it belongs to all of us.
Its influence has spread way, way beyond its walls. It's become this cultural landmark. The famous poet W.B. Yeats was inspired by its beauty. And get this, it's even popped up in the Harry Potter series. How cool is that? From high literature to Hollywood blockbusters, this castle is a powerful symbol of Ireland.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's just incredible. This fortress has survived centuries of conflict. It fell into ruin, and it was brought back to life to become this icon. It really makes you think, you know? It's been here for 600 years. What's its story going to be 600 years from now? What other history will these old walls see? It's pretty amazing to think about.